going to have to interrupt this call. I understand we're going to go to a live picture in Los Angeles. Is that correct?
Thanks to all my new and returning viewers for stopping by to check out this video. And thanks for the support that you guys been showing me over the last couple weeks to help this channel. So now let's move on to the reason that we're here. O.J. Simpson. I didn't know him as a football player. I know him more from his acting roles, specifically the Naked Gun movies and his appearances in the Hertz commercials, and what's really shined the spotlight on OJ, whether you knew him from acting or from football. If you didn't know him from either one of those, you definitely got to know him as a murder suspect. And what else do we know him for that he seemed to have scratched off his bucket list before he went to prison? Let's see.
Kidnapping and armed robbery.
The nerve of the rich and powerful. The good life just isn't enough for them, huh? And although these entertainers sell their soul for the price of fame and fortune, in which I don't think OJ sold his soul, I think he was just one of the lucky few. But when they first start their careers, they are likable. They have a certain type of charisma about them. But the more they raise their status, the more public scrutiny they undergo, which starts revealing a dark side to these celebrities. I have like two in mind where one of them is R. Kelly, where we kind of knew from the beginning of his career on what kind of shit he was into. He was just getting away with it for so long. And no matter how I feel towards his character, I still respect his talent. And the same goes for Diddy. I don't go too much for his character, and I always thought that was a little bit more to Diddy than what we see on the surface, but then all this other dark shit start coming out. But despite that, no matter how I feel about him as a person, I respect his talent. The same with OJ. I didn't know him as a football player. I know him as an actor, and that's the guy that I became cool with. As far as the things that he's done, I don't know, but I still watch his movies. A person of that status has connections in Hollywood, and you know who's in Hollywood? The Kardashians. It is rumored that OJ is the biological father of one of the Kardashian sisters. And you know, with them, just within the Hollywood scene altogether, like all kinds of dirty shit goes down in there. It's just, you haven't really heard him being around the Kardashians in a while. So these type of people, you could see what type of privilege they have in this car chase, because it looks more like an escort than them actually wanting to apprehend him. And he's not even speeding, he's cruising. So in this video, we're going to revisit those two key moments in OJ's life that shocked the world, and what people, especially comedians, were talking about around the time that it happened. And from here on out, I'm going to just let the video play, but I will comment on some things that I think need some attention.
Many of them carrying signs such as signs reading things like "Save the Juice," "Go OJ." People are literally cheering him on.
Right. Looks like he's in the left lane now.
Yeah.
Making a left turn. The intersection is free and he's clear, and now making his left turn westbound on Sunset.
All right. And he is pulling in to the driveway.
Come around.
Someone is going to the door right now, Eric.
Okay. We're pulling up. Let me tell you what I can see. We've just turned the corner. It's total chaos here. Motorcycles, black and whites, people running around, officers getting out of their cars with their batons.
Did you hear what I just heard?
Officers getting out of their cars with their batons.
Somehow, y'all know he's in the back of this Bronco with a gun, threatening to kill himself. He makes it to his house, and the whole law enforcement department is at his house after all that so-called running that he did. With a gun, y'all jump out y'all car with batons. I'm not exactly sure what the game plan is here. This shows the level of celebrity status that he has and the respect of the American people at the same time with a police chase like this back then. And with this scandal and the robbery scandal, I couldn't find anything else on OJ. You know how like celebrities are always caught up in stuff? There's not really much about him where like it's a bunch of minor petty offenses, but that's normal if you're looking at it from like everyday people perspective. And if it wasn't for the unaliving of his wife, the only thing major that we would really have on him is this robbery. But outside of those two things, it seems like he was living a pretty normal life.
We have found him. The door is opening, and let's see what happens now. We'll watch with you. This is the driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay, someone just got out of the vehicle, approaching the front door, dressed in black, and entered. Looks like they entered the front of the house there. Possibly O.J. Simpson.
Simpson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1985. The same year, he married his second wife, Nicole Brown. The couple had 2 children, but their marriage was marred by domestic violence, with Nicole Brown calling police on multiple occasions, with clear evidence of having been beaten.
Clear signs that she has been beaten on numerous occasions, and are yet to hear any actions taken against him. But you know what happens in domestic disputes when someone's constantly being physically abused?
Murder.
They probably said something stupid to Nicole like, well, you know how OJ get. Do you have somewhere to go for the night until he calmed down?
You working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Oh, well. I'll leave you be then. Good night, John.
She divorced Simpson and then 2 years later was murdered.
On June 12, 1994, when his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman, were found stabbed to death outside of her home in Los Angeles. The shock of their murders intensifying 5 days later. For hours, time stood still as nearly 100 million Americans watched on TV at this, Simpson taking police on a low-speed chase 60 miles through Los Angeles in that white Ford Bronco.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187.
Third time I met O.J. Simpson, I was doing great in life. I just finished the second season of Chappelle's Show. Man, those were good days. I was playing a comedy club in Miami. The Improv. I don't know if you've ever been, but if you have, you'd know. The door for the green room is right on the stage. Can you imagine such a thing? If I walked out of the door of the green room, bam, I'm just right here. It's right from the dressing room. And I looked, ma'am, as close as you are to me, I saw him as soon as I came out. The juice. And I saw recognition in his eyes, and it filled me with pride that he knew who I was. I didn't acknowledge his presence because it was a white audience and I didn't want to start a panic. But I did my show. Show went great. I said, good night, everyone. They all said, yay! And I didn't say nothing to OJ, but I just gave him the signal, let him know I knew he was there. And I walked into the green room and OJ was already in there. I was like, how the fuck is this possible? I was scared. O.J. Simpson, one of the nicest men I'd ever met. He was nice to me. He was nice to my friends. The conversation was filled with warmth and levity, humor, and wisdom. We talked for 90 minutes, and then suddenly the Jew said, you know what? I've got to be going. But it's good to see you again, and I'm glad things went so well. I said, thanks, Juice. And my friend said, yeah, goodbye, Mr. Juice. They're new to the game. He said, no, thank you for your hospitality. Good night, guys. And we said, good night. And he just walked out of the room. And as soon as the door closed, we all looked at each other like, that nigga did that shit. I could feel like murder in the room.
Las Vegas police have named O.J. Simpson as a suspect in a break-in at a casino hotel room.
The victim stated that one of the suspects involved in the robbery was O.J. Simpson.
The victim, a sports memorabilia auctioneer, claims the former football star broke into the room with 5 other men, one of whom had a gun. Then the man claims O.J. took off some of the items. It all went down late last night at the Palace Station Casino just off the Vegas Strip. An acquaintance of Simpson noticed the items up for auction and called to inform the Hall of Famer.
I had known OJ because we did a signing with him a couple of years ago over in LA, and I called and he'd said that it was stolen from him.
Simpson told the Associated Press he did take the memorabilia, but he didn't break into the room. Simpson said he was conducting a sting operation to collect his stuff.
Are you sure about that, OJ?
This is surveillance video from that night when OJ and a group of men went into the Palace station.
Nobody got this I was hang that fucking motherfucker. You can steal my shit and sell it. Don't let nobody out of here. You motherfucker. I just look at this shit. Get over there. You walk over there. Steal my shit. I just had to get back alone. Walk your ass over there. Steal my shit. Mike took it. You just like my fuck. Mike took it. I got time to spend the food with you. I got all stuff doing it. I'm cool. I am.
11 p.m. Friday night. After 13 hours of deliberations and 3 weeks of testimony, the jury had reached a verdict.
Count 1, conspiracy to commit a crime, guilty. Count 2, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, guilty.
A stunning blow for the former football star, who appeared shaken as the verdicts were read.
Count 4, burglary while in possession of a deadly weapon, guilty. A burglary while in possession of a deadly weapon.
Guilty on all 12 counts, including kidnapping and armed robbery, crimes that carry a possible life sentence for 61-year-old O.J. Simpson and his co-defendant Clarence Stewart. Defense attorneys say they were stunned.
O.J. is dumb. Killers are smart. They're real smart. If O.J. was this smart killer that you talk about, he would have went over there, got his shit, killed everybody in the house, and went on about his business. Do you know that O.J. called his friends up? Dummy called his friends, help me go get my stuff. Everybody had a tape recorder but O.J. Dummy had a gun. Have you heard the tapes? Play the tapes. Something's wrong with O.J. He's stuck in the 70s. O.J. thinks he's Shaft. Play the tapes. Don't none of you jive turkeys try to split. I'll kill you. Can you dig it? Hush your mouth. It's some silly shit. The boy's dumb. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And that's exactly where he'll be staying.
We happened to pass each other in the hallway.
Before we go any further, let's take a look at these interesting string of words that the press has put together. Robbery victim, friend of Simpson. What?
And OJ came up to me and said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And we had a chance to talk to each other. And I told him I'm sorry that I did not get the opportunity to call him and tell him that I had that stuff. Those few items that...
You sorry you didn't have the opportunity to call him about this stuff? Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. According to the audio, someone from your clique took the opportunity to yell out, "Mike took it," which indicate that everyone in the room knew, which resulted in this situation.
And I feel that 9.5 to 33 years was way too long.
Which brings me to this guy that's sitting next to OJ, looking over Bruce's shoulder like he the one that handed Bruce the note to read to the judge, and he's there to enforce it. Due to the fact that this was his stuff, the only mistake that I see OJ making in this particular situation is bringing a gun. He was allegedly known for his knife game. If he would have brought one of those with him, he probably would have walked away from this too.
Police! Throw down your guns! Kill him.
Good morning, I'm Diana Macedo. We're coming on the air because we have breaking news. O.J. Simpson has died. His family says Simpson died yesterday, saying he succumbed to his battle with cancer, surrounded by his children and grandchildren. It was revealed in February that Simpson was battling prostate cancer, but he refuted rumors at the time that he was in hospice care. ABC News audio reporter Alex Stone joins me now on the phone. Alex, what do we know at this point?
Well, Diane, his family, as you mentioned, says that he died yesterday, we believe, in Las Vegas, where he had been living. It was only a couple of weeks ago where he had refuted the claims that he was in hospice care right around the Super Bowl. Word had come out that he may have been in hospice care, and he put out a video on X saying that he was fine, looking like he was going to go golfing. His impact on Southern California and really the world cannot be overstated. Going back to his time in the NFL and at USC and then the NFL, then the infamous trial in the 90s for the double murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He was acquitted of that. There were a number of years where he was in and out of the headlines, and then we covered for a number of months the hotel room armed robbery case in Las Vegas. He ended up going to prison for that, got out, had been living in Las Vegas. His family now saying on X that he has died, Diane.
Alex, he became such a national focal point during that trial for the murders of his wife and his ex-wife at the time and her friend. What legacy does O.J. Simpson leave behind now so many years later?
Well, I think that depending on how one looks at O.J. Simpson, there is the football part of it, the star that he was, the Hertz commercials running through the airport. He was the biggest of the big star before that trial. And then the shock of the trial. There are many Americans who will always believe that he committed that double murder. Others who believe that he did not. You remember the lines that came out of that. If it does not fit, you must acquit. The impact of that trial, for those who were not alive during that time or not old enough to remember it, was incredible. The whole world watching that trial during that time, the whole world watching TV and listening to the radio, waiting for that verdict to come down. And then when it came down, much of America did not agree with it. And then he was sometimes almost comically in and out of the headlines over many years. And then to get in trouble again in Las Vegas, to get back his own memorabilia, he got into the memorabilia trade and selling his items over many years. And then went into retirement, always claiming he was looking for the real killers of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. There were always those who were saying he wasn't doing enough to do that if he really was not involved in the murders. But he then went into retirement in Florida and Nevada and had been relatively quiet over the last couple of years.
All right. Alex Stone, thank you. And again, we have breaking news that O.J. Simpson has died. His family says he succumbed to his battle with prostate cancer. O.J. Simpson was 76 years old.
As this video come to a close, I'm going to leave you with this. And until next time, peace, and I'm out.
Johnny, don't Johnny talk shit? Baby, Johnny can get you off. That nigga rhyme, they gotta let a nigga go. That nigga can rhyme you out of jail. He got OJ off with that glove. It don't fit or quit. Nicole was a hoe. You gotta let him go. That nigga will run. He got Puffy off. What's Puffy changed his name to what? Oh, he should have changed it to Lucky Nigga because he was. He rhymed him out. The gun wasn't in the car. It wasn't at the bar. That OJ trial was deep, wasn't it? And white folks can talk to animals. They wore that dog out. Was it Akita, a Japanese dog? Did they wear that dog out? Come on, we'll give you a show like lastly, a Gentle Ben, Oh Yellow. Come on, you saw OJ do it. Say OJ did it. Come on, dog. The dog tried. Oh. That's it, dog. Come on, you're almost there. Oh. Yes, you're almost there. Come on, dog. You can do it. Oh. OJ, say it. It was a Japanese Akita. Couldn't pronounce the J. Couldn't pronounce that goddamn J. If it would have been an English terrier, we'd have been in trouble. Yes, it was O.J. Simpson. The nigger that you call the juice. He was very violent. There was blood everywhere. I ran like a bunny rabbit. I kept screaming, God save the Queen.